Okay, quick video for myself, Harvey Goldman. And today's video, I want to do one about the middle class disappearing faster than anybody probably realizes. So, once upon a time, Britain's middle class was actually the dream: a semi detached house, a steady job, a few nice holidays a year. But today, that dream is basically slipping through people's fingers. So, the middle class isn't shrinking, it's simply folding in on itself. Basically, a 2025 YouGov poll, literally a couple of months back, found that over 70% of people who identify as middle class now say that they're worse off than they were 5 years ago. So I want to explore why. Whether it's frozen wages, rising debt, housing inflation, stealth taxes, whatever it might be, and also what it means for the future of social mobility in Great Britain. So, first of all, we need to look at things like wages. Wages have been frozen, and obviously costs are exploding. Now, that's not news. We're all aware that everything's getting more expensive. Inflation hits 11% in 2023. Mortgage payments are actually up 60% for many households. All those poor people that locked in mortgages during the pandemic, just like myself. A lot of them are now feeling the wrath of that, and they've jumped from 1.7% right up to sometimes 6 or even 7, which is a hell of a leap. And this means that even people that may be earning 50K a year are now feeling like they're broke. ONS data actually shows that real disposable income for middle income earners has fallen 3 years in a row. So, what used to be the comfortable middle is now basically the struggling middle. The average UK home now costs 8.8 times the average salary. Now, back in the 90s, it was the inverse. It was around 3.5 times the average salary. And that is the highest ratio of salary to housing cost since records began. So, middle income families are now trapped between being too rich for help and too poor for housing. And as for first time buyers, the average deposit for an average price property in the UK is basically £64,000. So think about that. Have you got 64 grand that you can just lose on a deposit straight away? Probably not. And even private renters spend an average of 35 to 40% of their income on rent. And those stats are actually directly from Zoopla this year. So all of this causes a debt spiral. Basically, to maintain appearances, middle class families are now turning to debt. They're using credit cards, buy now, pay later, loans. Now, the easy answer is, well, don't maintain appearances. It's easier said than done. In 2024, UK household debt hit 2.3 trillion. Middle income earners now carry the highest average credit card debt in the country. And this makes up, I guess, part of a vanishing dream. The middle class once defined and symbolized stability. Now it just represents anxiety. That ladder to success that started off with education and then went to a career and then went to a house and then went to retirement and then into a pension, it's now missing a few rungs. You know, the Financial Times recently called it the middle class squeeze. The fear of falling down with basically nothing as a safety net below. So here's the uncomfortable truth: Britain's middle class is being hollowed out, but not by accident. It's all done by design, it's by policy, by inflation, and also decades of economic neglect from multiple governments with multiple political leanings. The people who once powered the economy, and believe me, they did, are now the ones that are barely holding it up. If the middle class collapses, then society collapses with it because there'll be very few people actually spending. The middle class were the ones that spent money, that paid taxes, that massively put into the economy without taking much back out of it in terms of welfare. So when that disappears, the country is going to be in the shuck financially, and our economy is definitely going to tank. What are your thoughts on this? Do you think this is, I guess, fear mongering on the part of the ONS, and businesses like Zoopla, for example? Or is this reality? Have you noticed this happening with your own income, for example? Drop it in the comments, let me know. I'm really interested to find out. As always, every day is a learning day. YouTube is going to put another video somewhere around there. Like, follow, subscribe, ring the bell, all that jazz. Another video tomorrow. Goldman, peace out.